So take a minute with me and recall someone or something in your life that has motivated you. Maybe it was a teacher who inspired your best work, or an inspirational video on the internet, or even just the arrival of New Year's Day. See, my best friend Mackenzie throughout high school was one of those people who seemed like she had an endless supply of motivation. We all know someone like this. Mackenzie would wake up early on weekends to run. She actually read our assigned books for class and enjoyed them. And she would always write longer essays and get higher test scores than me. So you know when you start to spend a lot of time with somebody, you sort of start to adopt some of their characteristics, like their phrases or their facial expressions. Well, I so desperately wanted this to happen with me and Mackenzie. I wanted to get that motivation so bad. I wondered how we could be so similar in so many ways, and still, I would always fall short in this one aspect of life that affected so many others, and that's motivation. One day as we were working on a project, I asked her, I said, how is it that whenever I'm ready to give up and take a break, you keep going? How is it that you stay so motivated and I just can't? She honestly didn't even look up from what she was doing. She just sort of shrugged and said, I don't know, you just do. See, her answer, though it was so simple and a little bit unhelpful, clicked in my mind. For some reason, it made sense. I wondered, what if motivation isn't something that you have or something that comes in bursts, but what if it's something that you practice? So as I was sort of rolling these ideas around in my head, I came up with something that I'm going to be talking with you guys today about, and that is that motivation is cultivation. In the next 8 or 9 minutes, we're going to talk about the 3 M's of motivation, and that's the myth, the mission, and the mindset, and a few different ways that you can implement those in your own life so that you can stop relying on your motivation to get things done. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is that motivation is a myth. So the British Journal of Health Psychology did a study over the span of 3 weeks where they looked at 3 groups of people and their exercise habits. So this first group of people was the control group. They were simply told to write down their exercise after they did it for 3 weeks. That was it. Group 2 was the motivation group. They were told to track their exercise just like group 1, but they were also given an extremely moving motivational speech about all the benefits of exercise, why it was so important. They were also given a motivational pamphlet. They were given all the tools that they need to be motivated to go out and exercise. And group 3 was the intention group. They were told to track their exercise just like group 1. They were given the same motivational speech and pamphlet as group 2, but they were also told to formulate a specific written workout plan for all the 21 days of their 3 weeks. So the first group was told to simply track their exercise. Second group was just motivated. Third group was, they were just told to be intentional. And so at the end of the 3 weeks, the researchers were stunned by the results that they received because they came to the conclusion that the intention group scored 3 times higher in their results. They were 91% successful, whereas the other 2 groups were 20%. They came to the conclusion that motivation has no effect on exercise behavior whatsoever. So what does this mean for us? This means that your motivation has nothing to do with whether or not you actually get something done. So motivation is a myth. Everything that we've ever thought about motivation is false. So where do we go from there? What's our next step? And this is where the second M of motivation becomes so important, and that's that motivation is a mission. See, the third group that was successful was the intention group. They were successful because they wrote down exactly what they were going to do. So it should be simple, right? We should just be intentional about what we want to do. But we're all in college, so we're all intentional all the time. We buy a planner at the beginning of the fall semester and we say, this year I'll have it together. This year I'm going to write down all my meetings and my commitments, everything. And then what? By now it's blank. We can be lying in bed one night and say, tomorrow I will go to the gym, tomorrow I will get a salad at Chartwell's, tomorrow I will do this and this and this. Or we'll be sitting there writing an assignment and you're kind of slowing down, the words aren't really coming out the way that you want them to, and you're like, I'll do it later, when I'm more motivated, when I'm more inspired. See, it's easy to be intentional, but it's hard to follow through. So 2 steps to help you follow through with your intentions are to start small and start strong. Start small by doing exactly what group 3 did, the intention group. Write down exactly what you want to accomplish. Sit down and write it down. And start strong by, rather than setting these huge and lofty goals that you want to attain, start strong by simply taking the things that you're already going to do tomorrow and doing them well, doing them with excellence. Take the things that you have on your radar, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get this done. Simply do it better, do it faster, do it more efficiently. Starting small and starting strong are how you can practice your intentionality without getting overwhelmed and wanting to quit. So ultimately, this myth and mission of motivation, the fact that motivation is cultivation, teaches us discipline. And no one likes discipline. There's a reason that the word leaves a bad taste in your mouth, because discipline is not easy. So this is where the 3rd M of motivation becomes so important, and that's that motivation is a mindset. So imagine that you're planning a long road trip on your own to see some friends. And you know where you're going is going to be beautiful. The air will be clear, and the sky will just be beautiful, and the weather is going to be better than it is here. And you're so excited to just pull up in that driveway and see all of your friends there waiting for you. So you're excited, and you grab your coffee, and you hop in the car, and you're driving, and you're driving, and you're driving, but by hour 3, you're kind of running out of Spotify playlists. And by hour 4, you're listening to a podcast. By hour 5 or 6, you've called your mom just to talk. And by hour 7 or 8, you're watching the miles rack up on your odometer and you're wondering, why did I do this? Was this a mistake? But you're not going to turn around because you know where you're headed. You've pictured your destination. You see it in your head. And that's what gets you there. So when you're struggling through a goal, think of the big picture. Take a step back. Remind yourself of where you're headed. More often than not, the things that you must push yourself to do, the things that you must motivate yourself to do, are the things that are going to profoundly impact who you are and who you want to be. So rather than treating your motivation like a chore, treat it like a choice to remain close to who you are and who you want to be. So these 3 M's, the myth, the mission, and the mindset, remind us that motivation is cultivation. It is entirely up to you to be intentional, follow through, and keep driving. Thank you.